Good evening, football fans, ladies and gentlemen around the state of Utah. Welcome to Lone Peak Football, the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Skin Science Institute. Tonight, it's the opening of Region Play. Region 3 begins as the Pleasant Grove Vikings enter night territory to take on the 22nd nationally ranked Lone Peak Knights.
The Vikings have their shields. It's Lone Peak. It's Pleasant Grove, and it's time for the kickoff.
Lone Peak won the toss. They elected to defer their option till the second half. And Brecken Carr will kick off. Dayton Hanson and Wade Christiansen set to return. The kick, and we are off and running, and the kick goes right through the back of the end zone with the aid of about a 15-mile-per-hour wind at the back of Brecken Carr. With my broadcast partner, Jake Hatch, Alexander Timolik, joining you from the top of Knight Stadium. Alrighty, Hatch, turning to you, first thing I say is interesting matchup tonight. Region 3 play opens tonight, and a chance for vengeance for Lone Peak after losing to Pleasant Grove last year on the road.
I was going to say, that's the thing about this. This is all payback for the Knights in tonight's game, because they remember what happened last year against the Vikings. They want nothing more than to give some payback on their home turf. So looking forward to this. Region 3's always got good games, and obviously we got a good one tonight.
And before we even have a snap, we have a player sent off for equipment problem.
Welcome to high school football, baby.
Exactly.
I love it.
Spencer Hafolka is the starting quarterback, with Wade Christiansen at his side. Takes the snap on 1st and 10, and he gives it off to Christiansen, and he goes nowhere on first down. Brought down by a host of black shirts. In there to make the tackle was Cooper Stosic, among others.
Yeah, good job by that Lone Peak defensive line. This is going to be a big battle, because that Pleasant Grove offensive line's got to get some push against one of the better D-lines in this entire state. Every year, Lone Peak, they just find dudes. They just replace guys on that D-line. They're as stout as they come.
Loss of 2 officially on the play for Christiansen, 2nd and 12.
By the way, did you notice that the side judge was not even out of the play when they snapped it?
That might have been the case. Hafolka on the option keeps it right side, and he gets absolutely doorstopped by Landon Goff, who came off his block. And it's 3rd down after a pickup of maybe 3.5.
Yeah, Hafolka made a good decision to keep the ball there, but I don't think he expected Goff to be able to disengage that quickly and rip him to the ground. But decent pickup, 3 yards, leaves him 3rd and 9, though.
Just underway here on this windy Friday night here at Knight Stadium. Temperature in the high 70s, but the wind is blowing at the back, swirling around here inside the stadium from the pistol on 3rd down and 9. Blitz coming on Hafolka, throws up the long ball that is incomplete, intended to that far sideline for Dayton Hanson, and it's 4th down and a quick 3 and out for the Vikings.
Well, I don't know if you saw, there was a 7-man pressure there from Lone Peak coming at him. I actually credit to the Pleasant Grove offensive line, those running backs. They picked it up nicely. Unfortunately, the wide receiver ran the wrong route, it appeared, and Hafolka couldn't complete that pass. He had time because that was picked up nicely by that offense.
Mason Anderson to punt, and before anything happens, we have penalty flags.
We got an offside.
And an offside is called. Dave Wallace is our official.
I am stunned you know this information, by the way.
Encroachment on the defense, number 9. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
That's on Junior Taki, the edge.
How did you find out who our officials are tonight?
Well, I have a very good ear, Hatch. The PA announcer did announce it over
he did?
Yes,
Okay.
the PA announcer did say
Props
it
to you,
over
man.
over the system before it started. Mason Anderson to punt into the wind. Line drive as far as he can, and Goff drops the football, and it is recovered by Pleasant Grove, and the Vikings are going to be set up in Knights territory with a 1st down at the 47-yard line.
That was a perfect setup there, obviously, with that to come down, let the guy receive the ball, he muffs it, and then you just dive on. That was a great job by Pleasant Grove on the special teams. And by the way, kicking into that wind, quite a punt going into the wind there.
Cannon Smith is the one who recovered the punt. Now all of a sudden it's 1st and 10.
All right, can they take advantage here? It's one of the keys of the game I talked about in our notes that you and I were sharing back and forth. Pleasant Grove's got to be aggressive. They got to jump on Lone Peak early if they want to have a chance in this one, it feels like.
Hafolka hands off on 1st down to Christiansen, who had a big game last year running the football against this Knights team. And again, Hatch mentioned the keys to the game is presented, of course, by Heidemann and Associates, the full-service law firm that is committed to going above and beyond the clients, bond for the clients they serve. And at the end of tonight's game, Hatch and I will be selecting our choice for the Heidemann and Associates player of the game. Named, of course, aptly for the player who went above and beyond the call for his team.
Down at 8.
Gain of 3 yards, second and a long 8 here for the Vikings after the muff punt. And Christiansen, maybe a little bit of exchange confusion there, and he gets smothered by the D tackle Andy Stice.
Yeah, Stice. I don't think anybody even touched him. He was in the backfield that quickly. Made a nice tackle for loss back to the original line of scrimmage.
If you're just joining us, Lone Peak with the first turnover of the ball game on a muff punt by Landon Goff into a really, what feels like a swirling wind. You can hear it possibly in our microphones, how windy it is here on top of the press box here at Knight Stadium. 3rd down 10 now. Hafulka, double wide receivers either side, drops back to pass, looking over the middle now, throws into traffic, that's batted up and picked off! Tipped on the play by Tanuvasa, intercepted by Jaden Mayberry, and after the turnover by Goff, it ends up being a takeaway for the Knights of their own. Mayberry comes up with a pick.
Folka's going to want that one back. You look at that play, and he threw it a double, if not triple coverage. And you mentioned Tanuvasa tipping it up. Jaden Mayberry is about as good as anybody at finding that ball in the air, and he comes down with it. Big turnover early on the other side for Lone Peak here.
So here comes Kepa Niumetolu, the
25-yard line. It's 1st and 10.
out to transfer, and Dave Wallace talking to
More equipment. Let's go.
more equipment
Get those
issues.
knee pads, baby. Let's go.
Owen McNeil is this time guilty of the possible infraction.
He warned him.
He sure did. 1st and 10 now from the 25. Double backs. Interesting formation here that Gary Trowbridge is throwing out on the first play. Mayberry goes in motion, and the handoff goes to the tailback to the right side, Sam Wright. And Wright gets smothered by a host of white shirts after pickup of maybe 2 yards, brought down by the D-tackle Jackson Mortensen, among others.
Yeah, good job by Wright there, finding a hole, finally just driving upfield, ends up getting 3 yards. Felt like he stretched that out pretty far, but he actually did just fine, getting 3 yards on 1st down.
So turnovers on back-to-back possessions to begin this one here this evening. As the sun begins to set behind the Wasatch, in front of the Wasatch front. Ike Staley goes in motion, and it's a handoff again to Wright on 2nd and long, and he gets maybe 3 more. Give him officially 4.
Number 6, Samuel Wright.
And actually, he'll be generous and give him 5. Brody Downs, the linebacker, made the stop, and he'll bring up an early 3rd down here for the Knights.
Yeah, good job by Downs there to fill that hole. It looked like he was going to have a lot more room to run there, but Downs came in, filled it nicely, and limited what was a period that could have been a pretty big gainer there.
3rd down, 2 yards to go.
Be interesting to see what offensive coordinator Gary Trowbridge throws out here on 3rd and 2.
Playbook should be wide open.
Sam Wright goes out in motion to the right, so 5 will go into the pattern as Niumetolu looks to the sideline.
Watch QB draw here.
I would think so too. Niumetolu going to throw though, pass is caught, and that's a 1st down on the curl route to Ike Staley, and he has the 1st down. As the 6'6" basketball player has a 1st down up to the 44.
And if you notice, Pleasant Grove on that defensive alignment, they were anticipating a QB draw as well. So it was a good read by Niumetolu and getting that ball out of his hand for the 1st down.
It's like defensive coordinator Steve Brady was listening to us or something on that play.
Hey, watch the quarterback.
I know, seriously. Wide receivers line up in a stack to the right. That's a new wrinkle. 1st and 10 from the 44. Mayberry comes back in motion. It's a play action by Niumetolu, and he's got 2 men open. Penalty flag goes down.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Or rather, a hat, I think, goes down.
Pass falls incomplete.
Or did anything go down? I don't think anything went down on that far sideline.
Well,
and Niumetolu, and you were about to point it out, Niumetolu had a man wide open.
Yeah.
Running over the middle. Luke Christensen, the converted quarterback, was all by himself.
And did you see Walking Horse on the other side screaming at his guys? That guy was wide open. I think feet got tangled here on the far side where that pass was going to no call in the end, but they had 2 guys. They had the wheel right out here and then one right down the middle of the field that both were wide open had he looked up to the backside.
Missed opportunity there for Kepa Niumetolu. 2nd and 10 from the 44. From the shotgun, handoff to Wright. and Wright gets tackled, maybe gets about a half a foot. Tristan Hughes.
Hands off.
Yeah, great job there by Hughes, coming right down the line there and limited just a 1-yard pickup.
Tristan Hughes and Jackson Mortensen on the stop.
I really like what Pleasant Grove's doing with their defense. They're changing things up. You're seeing different alignments, linebackers all over the place early on in this game. They're trying to confuse this offensive line, and so far it's working.
That's the advantage of the multiple fronts defense that Steve Brady runs. And it's what gave Pleasant Grove gave Lone Peak so many headaches in that game last year on the road. 3rd down and 9 now from the 45. Fake the handoff. Niumatolu the throw. That is caught just about at the first down marker to Luke Christensen. And a first down after a pickup of 10. They need a 9, and they give him actually 11.
Great job by Christensen there, seeing that ball in, absorbing the hit, just holding on to that football. That's not an easy catch to make on that comeback route, but it was on time and gets the first down yardage.
Lone Peak comes into this game the number 22 ranked team in the nation, according to the USA Today Super 25. They fell out of the Max Prep's top 25.
I was going to say, did they? I know the Max Prep, they fall in, so they're in the USA Today. Okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So 2 Utah teams still in the top 25. Lone Peak 22, Corner Canyon 23. Niumatolu from the gun, 1st and 10, throws the out, and a miscommunication, incomplete, intended for Jay-Sean Mayberry. Mayberry ran the wheel route. Niumatolu running to run the comeback.
Yeah, it was that out and up. It was that out and up look, and Mayberry kind of turns around and is like, "Hey, there's the ball."
it's like you're playing hide and seek, but instead you're going the opposite direction.
It happens.
2nd down and 10 for the Knights.
But Lone Peak, the 22nd ranked team in the nation, as we said, according to the USA Today Super 25, lost at Centennial last week. 49-35 was a shootout.
Yeah, it was.
2nd and 10 from the 44 of Pleasant Grove. Man goes in motion. It's McNeil. Handoff left side, and the handoff goes. I believe that's the backup running back, Sean Tahi. It is number 23, and Tahi is brought down after maybe a pickup of 2.
Well, here's the thing about that. Tahi broke about 4 tackles on that play and still only picked up 1 because he reestablished position and actually lost 2 yards as a result.
You have to feel like, Hatch, that's a key too for Pleasant Grove. Tackling the football is going to be a huge thing.
They've been so good so far. They've been wrapping up. First guy wraps up, second guy comes through and tries to strip the ball out. That's the whole mentality here. They've been very good at wrapping up. That was really the first time you'd seen a guy slip out of a tackle there. So it's actually been a very nice job so far by Pleasant Grove on defense.
3rd down and 9. Third down of this drive. Niumatolu fakes the play action, throws to the far side, and throws it high. May have actually been caught up in the wind.
Yeah, that one sailed a bit.
Intended for Jay-Sean Mayberry, and given the fact that it is 4th down and Lone Peak's going to have the wind at their back, smart decision here by Gary Trowbridge and head coach Bart Brockbank. They're going to punt the football.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things about I'm going to butcher his name all night. Niumatolu is that ball. He's struggled a little bit this year so far. What I've seen is throwing those out routes, getting those on the sideline. He's got the arm strength. He's just got to deliver them accurately.
And we have a timeout called by Taylor Walkenhorst, as it didn't look like anybody was set for the right side of that line. So we'll take a break as well. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this word from Burt Brothers Complete Auto Care. It is scoreless late here in the first quarter. Well, to the familiar tune of Push It, and with the beautiful shot of the mountain range in the background, well done by Josh Dodge. Alexander Timberlake here with Jake Hatch on this windy Friday night here in Alpine, Utah. Landon Goff to punt on 4th and 9. High snap, and he gets it away. Good punt into the wind. And they're going to let it bounce, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. Adam Wright back there to return.
That's one of those punts that you can just hit it like a knuckleball and hope it checks up, but that one had just too much on, and it checks into the end zone.
So as we have a moment here, let's turn back to our Heidemann Associates keys to the game. Jake Hatch, you already touched on one for Lone Peak, or for Pleasant Grove, rather, was to be aggressive and jump on Lone Peak. What does Lone Peak have to do in order to get the win here tonight?
It relates to turnovers as well. Take care of the football, and the rest takes care of itself. This is a team that the talent level is undeniable with what Lone Peak has. As long as they're not losing the ball and giving Pleasant Grove extra chances, they should be just fine. So take care of the football, and it'll solve itself.
Yeah, already 1 turnover for Lone Peak, and it came on the muffed punt. Christiansen gets the handoff on the sweep to the right side, able to bounce it back. Now has Folka as a blocker, and he's got the right side of this field open with a stiff arm, but a penalty marker goes down.
Going to be a block in the back.
Yep, I think it is going to be 2.
It's unfortunate because the receiver's just trying to get in the way, but when you get your helmet behind the guy, that's automatically going to be called, and the side judge saw it all the way. It's just unfortunate because it's actually a pretty good pickup after all that, but it's going to cost him. Oh, interesting.
Oh, well, hello.
So no block in the back after all. Wow. Okay.
So Brennan Houghton, I guess, didn't have a block in the back, and a sideline warning is called against Lone Peak.
And Bart Brockbank is telling his sideline, every one of you back up. Yeah, the coaches, they are getting warned. Coach Denny's down there holding his hands out.
Even Ryan Denny, the defensive coordinator, is like, what else am I supposed to do?
For my money, the best defensive coordinator in high school football in this state.
I would argue probably one of the best in the nation. Here's Afoka on second down. Ooh. Speaking of which, that pass almost picked off. Intended to the near side for Adam Wright, and Wesley Valgertson, who had a pick six last week Saturday at Centennial, almost came up with that one.
Yeah, Valgertson seen that maybe a touch earlier. He probably gets that ball. That was a dangerous pass for Afoka.
So on third downs thus far, both teams combined 2 for 6. Lone Peak is 2 for 4 on third downs, but Pleasant Grove 0 for 2 on third downs.
Bob Mulatalo right there in the middle of that defensive line.
And as we say that, there's going to be a foul.
Up the first down.
Yes, there's going to be a flag. Here's Dave Wallace.
Encroachment. Number 69 defense, 5-yard penalty. Is enough for a Pleasant Grove first down.
I saw Bob Mulatalo wind up head over that center. I was looking forward to seeing what he was going to do there with Stice to his left, and Stice just got caught up and wasn't looking at the ball.
34-yard line. 1st and 10, Vikings. Put the play clock to 40.
4 minutes and 44 seconds left first quarter. Still no score. Afoka hands off to Christensen, and he goes nowhere. And right on cue, there is Agent Zero.
Yeah, Bob Mulatalo, one of the best defensive linemen in this state, and he absolutely scrapes down the line perfectly and gets a tackle for loss for, 4 yards?
Something like that.
Nicely done by him. He's elite. He's got every move in the book. He's got size. He's got the whole package. That's the best part about it.
And he's only a junior too, which makes it even scarier.
I remember the class of 2026. If you're looking at the recruiting side of things. Oh, we got a direct snap.
It is, and Chris Jansen gets the handoff, has a block. He'll pick up about a decent amount of yards, about maybe 5.
Direct snap to number 25.
Brought down by Stosic, among others.
By Toa, and Cooper Stosic.
Yeah, great job there. I'm not sure where that snap was supposed to go to. There's confusion there between him and Afoka, but good job by Chris Jansen all the same, picking up yards, making this at least third and manageable.
So another third down coming up here for Pleasant Grove. They have yet to convert a true third down. They are 0 for 2. The last time they converted that third down on a 3rd and 2 was via penalty. Ryan Denny, as always, showing blitz 5-man front. And it is a reverse backside. Needs a block to the right side, and nobody was fooled on that Lone Peak defense. Finally getting escorted out of bounds was Dayton Hansen, but well covered by that speedy Lone Peak front. And it'll be 4th down and another punt here.
And you nailed it, Alex. They did not get fooled at all by the reverse. There was no over pursuit, none of that. And that's actually really well done. That's well-coached defense there to understand their keys and stay right where they're supposed to be.
So 3:11 left here in the first quarter. Still no score on this, like you said, very windy night here in Alpine, Utah. Anderson to punt. Good snap. And it's blocked! This one is bounding into the end zone, and it's going to roll out of the end zone for a safety.
That is about as thorough a block as you'll ever see on a punt. That ricocheted back like it went off a brick wall.
Toa Tanuvasa with the block punt, and a quite unorthodox way for the first score of this game to go into the books, but Lone Peak is up 2-0.
All right, 2-0. Soccer League. I love this. Wow, what a play there. Tanuvasa, I think he got his entire hand, because I think ricocheted like it went off a brick wall directly backwards, and it's unfortunate it didn't check up just a little bit more, and he might have had 6 because he was the only guy in the area.
Points on the scoreboard.
I'm wondering also if Hatch, if the punt might have ricocheted off the up back for Pleasant Grove.
It could have a little bit. It just seemed like Tanavasa got a whole hand on that bad boy because that went directly backwards. It's like if you played enough golf, you probably hit a shot where it's hit something and ricocheted right back at you. That's exactly what just happened on that punt.
That'd be a 2-stroke penalty in my book if it hits you.
I've got a brother who did that and almost hit me with a golf ball. Never forgave him for that one.
Yikes.
Put it off right that 150-yard pole and sent it right at me. All right, free kick time. Let's go.
So a free kick coming up here for the Pleasant Grove Vikings again. The block punt results in a safety.
Number 2, Landon Goff. And number 1, Jaden Mayberry.
Doing the honors is Aiden Carrere. Landon Goff and Jaden Mayberry to receive the free kick. And a short kickoff, trying to keep it away from the 2 up men, taken on the run by Stasic. Stasic has a block, and he's going to run into a wall of White at the 40-yard line. I was almost wondering if he might take a fair catch and try and see if his Brecken Carr could get a fair catch kick from that spot. 62 yards with the wind. He couldn't do it. But alas, no dice.
Great field position to start this drive. See if they can add 6 to their tally.
See if this Knights offense can get a little traction. They were able to move the ball down the field, but punted the football away the last possession. 2-0 Lone Peak on a block punt safety by Toa Tanavasa. Niumatolu from the shotgun on 1st and 10 from the Pleasant Grove 40 following the free kick return. Here is Wright on the handoff. It's a reverse backside, actually Owen McNeil, and he's got a block. McNeil, 20, 10, knocked out of bounds, chopped out at the 5-yard line. So Trowbridge throws the wild card, and it's 1st and goal.
Great play design there. Nice reverse. You mentioned the block on the outside here by the wide receiver, sprung him into the open field. He did all the West. And by the way, Wilkes, I don't know if you saw, he came from the backside to make that tackle down, and that's great pursuit to prevent the 6 points from going in the end zone there.
So from the 3-yard line, 1st and goal LP.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the power package here. Yeah, here we go. This is a Lone Peak staple, that I formation, like to come downhill on you right here in these situations.
That big offensive line with Wright dotting the I, and doesn't look like Coach Brockbank. I don't think anybody. I think Lone Peak only had 10 players on the field.
Yeah, they're missing a guy.
looked like they were missing a man.
Brockbank turned around and said, "Where's my extra guy there?" So yeah, obviously there's some miscommunication. This power package that Lone Peak likes to run, they absolutely get downhill on you.
So Hatch, a very interesting start to this ball game. Lone Peak getting a safety on that special teams play, and if we look at it from a defensive perspective so far, it seems like both teams are playing to their strengths defensively. It's just the talent level for Lone Peak seems to be winning out here early on.
Yeah, the thing about it is Lone Peak, this is a team that will put you in a vice, to use that expression, and will not let you out. And so far that's what they've done. So it's going to be interesting to see if Pleasant Grove can adjust here, because they're going to have, if they can get away with just giving up 3 points here, it'd be very, very impressive.
So after the timeout, after not having enough men on the field, 1st and goal from about the 2-yard line. Officially the 3. Wright dots the I. And it's a handoff to Wright, up the middle, and he walks in. Touchdown.
Great job by that Lone Peak offensive line. They made a crease in there and made it easy for him to scoot it for the end zone. I was mentioning right before the snap, I saw Mayberry out there one-on-one with Polk. I was wondering if they might go fader route to try and trick him a little bit.
So Sam Wright gets into the end zone, and it appears that Lone Peak is going to go for 2, given the fact that it's an 8-0 game. It would still be
they got confusion again. Bart Brockman just called timeout again. They don't have their personnel packages right now. He is beyond frustrated with this. This is stuff. We're mid-season, and midway through the season, this can't be happening at this point of the year.
So we'll take a break, and we'll be back for the 2-point conversion right after this.
At Skin Science Institute, we offer top-tier educational experience in aesthetics, including the finest facility, the most comprehensive curriculum, and a team of highly experienced professionals. We take pride in our fun and exciting culture to give our students a positive learning environment while training on the best machinery the industry has to offer. We ensure our graduates not only receive the best education, but also step into their careers with confidence, thanks to our robust
Lone Peak to go for 2 points here. Samuel Wright is the tailback along with Niumatolu. Double wides either side. Niumatolu looking to throw, throws it. Pass got deflected, but it makes it nonetheless to Mike Staley. And so 2 points added to the board.
Great job at Niumatolu as he just waited for his tight end to come open on that. Delivered a strike for 2. That was really, really well done.
Next Friday, the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heinemann and Associates returns. Join us for an all 5A showdown as Maple Mountain takes on Orem. Join yours truly and one Orem graduate, Gavin Atkinson, on the call next Friday night at 7 p.m. on the Rewind Sports Network. What a game that is going to be down.
So you got 2 golden teams.
Yes, the Golden Eagles and the Tigers.
So my dad's an Orem alum, and he will always remind me it's the Golden Tigers, not just the Tigers. I don't know why they decided to go Golden Tigers, but that's what they went with.
I don't know. I still call them the Tigers. It just rings better. Go Tigers.
It does, yes. Thank you, Coach Miles. No, that's Coach Orgeron. Sorry, apologies.
Orgeron, yes.
Coach Miles would say it too, though.
Yes, as Carr boots this baby through the back of the end zone.
That kick goes very much into the end zone.
As Hafolka and crew will come back out.
For the Vikings.
As we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the season now, region play starts tonight. Another region game of note is American Fork against Lehigh. That's going on down the road from us here tonight. And some great matchups all across the board in region play beginning. And we have a quarterback change here. Looks like we have Jet Christofferson, the freshman.
Okay.
Interesting switch here. So Christofferson to take his first snap. Hands off to Christiansen going to the right side. Has a block. Cuts it back, and he gets door-nailed right at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage. They say he lost a yard.
It's one of my favorite things about this Lone Peak defense. You feel like you've cleared the first wave. Guess what? There's a second wave right behind, and they will roll you over. That's a hallmark of what they've done here with Coach Danny on this defense. I don't know, you can appreciate that expression being from Hawaii.
Yes. Yes. Christofferson from the gun. Christiansen, the tailback, to throw for the first time, and the pass is in and out of the hands of Spencer Hafolka.
That's unfortunate. I know it would have been a short game, but it would have given some confidence to Christofferson coming in cold off the bench to see if Hafolka bring that in, just to say, hey, I can complete a pass there.
Defending on the play.
As Josh Dodge just pointed out to me, Christofferson wearing the number 1 Sammy Ball. Probably going to see him sling it a lot around the yard here in this one.
11 for the Vikings.
3rd down and 11 here as we're under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 10-0 Lone Peak. Christofferson drops the snap, and he goes down in a heartbeat. Andy Hamblin, Max Hamblin, Andy Stice, take your pick. They all had a piece of the quarterback.
Bob Mulatalo in there as well. Here's the thing. That snap was off to his left. He had a hard time corralling it, falls on the ground. And at that point, with how good this defensive line is, you're out of luck.
6-yard loss on the play.
It's already the 3rd punt for Mason Anderson.
4th down 17.
Landon Goff has his heels back on the 43-yard line. And before anything happens...
Oh, they're offsides.
You're right, we have another flag.
Private snap and coachman. Number 9 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
That's a second penalty called against Junior Tahi.
Yeah.
And on the same play, and that also makes the 4th penalty for Lone Peak in this quarter.
I get wanting to be aggressive and be right there on the edge, but come on now. It's a punt.
Anderson thought about running it, and this punt goes absolutely nowhere.
That wind is nasty.
Sure is. Got a good roll
Even
out
with
of it,
the
though.
bounce, it didn't go that far.
My goodness.
Like, if that's normal conditions, that bounce probably goes a good 10 yards. And that went, what, 3? Gavin was watching that one.
31 yards on the punt. And Anderson, very fortunate he got a 3-yard roll out of that sucker.
And that's going to be important in this game to take advantage of when the wind's at your back here.
Yeah, that wind absolutely killed it. I mean,
you watch that ball go up, and it just, oh, there it goes. Oh, it's stopping now.
From the 47-yard line, 1st and 10.
Sean Tahi now lines up as the single setback next to Niumetolu. In the spread formation, Ike Staley, the H-back, 1st and 10 from the 47. Brings Mayberry in motion to the left. Niumetolu takes the snap, fakes to Tahi, looking downfield, throws it in the... there for Christensen, and it's incomplete, just a little bit out in front of him.
Okay.
And that might have gotten caught up in the wind.
We talk about wind being a factor. That ball sailed about 3 extra yards and it didn't need to. Because you saw Niumetolu, he just kind of slung it out there, and he's like, hey, it's going to be money. And then that wind, just a little too much, Christensen couldn't come down with it, because otherwise it's 6.
So the wind really playing a factor, I think, more than a lot of us expected here in this first quarter.
Absolutely.
2nd and 10 now from the 47. Staley now motions to the right. Tahi remains the tailback. They give to him going left side, gets a block to that left side, has some room, and gets chopped out of bounds and then gets forced into the boundary by a host of white shirts, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, great run there. I don't know if you saw him. He had his hand on the back of Staley, just kind of feeling out, letting Staley engage with that block, bounces off it, picks up 7 yards. That's a really, really nicely blocked up play there.
So now 3rd down and call it 3 yards officially from the 40-yard line. Alexander Timolip, Jake Hatch late in the first quarter. Lone Peak got the first score on a block punt safety by Toa Uvasa. Then they took the free kick and scored in just 3 plays. Or 2 plays, rather. 3rd down and 2. Officially 3. Niumetolu, hands off. This is Tahi. Breaks it out to the left, and he's got the 1st down. And he still is on his feet. And he finally gets brought down at the 29-yard line, but that'll be more than enough to move the sticks for LP.
I got to give a shout out to Austin Pay on that play. I don't know if you saw it. He got not one, but 2 flatbacks. Took 2 guys down, allowed Tahi to bounce that to the outside and get extra yardage there. You saw the one guy was underneath Pay and got up and slapped the turf like, dang, bro.
Not a pancake I think you'd want to be under if you're that kind of guy. Austin Pay, the brother of Connor, of course. Shout out to him watching.
Connor and Trevor, by the way.
That's right.
Both of them at BYU. Their dad, Gary's the offensive line coach right down here.
Well, it's a family tradition, right? Here's the handoff to Tahi again behind that left guard. And he gets popped after a pickup of about maybe 7.
I was going to say, he didn't even touch till he got 6 yards downfield there. That's the surge of this offensive line. They're just absolutely mauling Pleasant Grove right now.
And with that should take us to the end of the first quarter. Bart Brockbank is out on the field. He's not going to run another play. And we're going to switch ends on a very windy night here at Knight Stadium. But Lone Peak able to weather the wind so far. They're up 10-0. Back after this word from the Skin Science Institute.
At Skin Science Institute, we offer top-tier educational experience in aesthetics, including the finest facility, the most comprehensive curriculum, and a team of highly experienced professionals. We take pride in our fun and exciting culture to give our students a positive learning environment while training on the best machinery the industry has to offer. We ensure our graduates not only receive the best education, but also step into their careers with confidence, thanks to our robust job placement support. Start your journey as an esthetician today. Our monthly start dates and financial aid opportunities make it easy to jump in. Visit our website at www.skinscienceinstitute.com to schedule a tour and enroll now.
Skin Science Institute, proud sponsor of Lone Peak football. Start your journey as an aesthetician by visiting skinscienceinstitute.com to schedule a tour and enroll now. Proud sponsor of Lone Peak football on the Rewind Sports Network. 10-0 in favor of LP, the 22nd ranked team in the nation, on the move here to start the second quarter. Alexander Timolip alongside Jake Hatch watching as Kepa fakes the pass, throws back shoulder to the end zone, and it is caught! Touchdown! Sean Mayberry!
Now, when you're thrown into the wind like this, Niumetolu can just let it rip, and he absolutely ripped a nice one there. Mayberry just ran his route. The ball was right there on time. Secures it for the touchdown, and that gives him a 3-score lead.
A 22-yard strike. A wind cutter throw by Niumetolu to Jaden Mayberry, or Jashawn Mayberry.
By the way, showing off that arm strength there, because you're right, that was a wind ripper. It just went right through that wind like it was nothing.
Not something I can do on the golf course, unfortunately, as Brecken Carr boots through the extra point and makes it 17-0. And the 22nd ranked team in the nation here, Jay Catch, really flexing their muscle here early on. And we were talking about before the game how Lone Peak will respond after being really for the better part of that game against Centennial, almost manhandled. I guess they're okay, and they've come out big mad.
Yeah, well, they learned their lesson last week. Centennial is one of the best teams in the state of California, and they hung in that game. I'll give them that, because you scored 35 points on Centennial, and that's an accomplishment in and of itself. I think they learned something about themselves. You know what? We are a better team than we give ourselves credit for, and they're taking out that frustration right now on Pleasant Grove. You mentioned at the start of this game, Pleasant Grove got the upset win last year, and I know that's been in the back of these Lone Peak players' minds all year long.
It was one of many just shocking results that we saw for Lone Peak last year. The other shocking one being how Westlake was able to hold them to just 28 points.
Correct.
And was for the better part of that game in it, as Brecken Carr pooches it away, trying to keep it away from the returners. It's taken by one of the up men, and getting bumped out of bounds close to the 35-yard line is Luke Hafen.
Good job by Hafen to secure that. That's not an easy thing to do when that ball's popped up like that, because those up backs, they're not used to catching that ball up in the air, but it's a good job by him to secure that and pick up as much yardage as he could.
Tonight's telecast of Lone Peak football, the Rewind Sports Network, is also presented by Burt Brothers, where auto care is done better, and it's also presented by Popular Commercial Loans for $2 to even 100 million commercial loaners. Call Popular Commercial Lending Group. Call them today, 801-694-6281. Christofferson from the gun to take the snap. Blitz coming, throws the screen pass. That's intercepted. Landon Goff. Second turnover of the game, and this time it's Goff who comes up with the big play.
Christofferson's going to go off to the side, and his coach is going to say, "What did you see?" He said, "Well, I just kind of threw it up there." That's the problem. You got to see the guy. You got to complete that pass. He tossed that up for grabs, and Goff saw it and just said, "You know what? That ball's mine."
Second turnover of the game.
The fans get great tasting turnovers. Cheerleaders. I think we should pass some turnovers out now. These were baked today, by the way.
They're actually passing out actual turnovers.
Bring
now,
some up to us. How about that?
I know, seriously. We could use a snack of our own up here. Anyway, 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line for the Knights. All four drives have started close to or over midfield as Niumetolu to throws on the middle. That's complete. As Christensen gets the full takedown, and the ball comes out. The white shirts are all diving on top of it, saying they have it.
And they do.
And Pleasant Grove does have it. So the second turnover of the ball game for LP, and the fumble is recovered by Bo Goodman, the linebacker.
By the way, what a formed tackle that was. I missed the number on the player who made the tackle there, but he stripped that ball out at the end. You talked about earlier about first guy wraps up, second guy comes in and strips the ball out. That's the epitome of what that means right there.
I believe that was Brody Downs who made that formed tackle.
The initial hit? Okay.
Yeah, and then somewhere along the line, Christensen just lost control of the football. It looked like he got hit from the back by one of the defensive linemen, and that's what caused the ball to pop out. So back-to-back turnovers on back-to-back plays. Christofferson from the gun, fakes the screen, now throws it downfield, got a man running open, and just a little bit overthrown, intended for Ryder Huntsman up that sideline.
I love the play design there. Christofferson had his guy had a step on him. Just unfortunate with that wind at his back once again. I'm telling you, that ball will sell on you there.
Yeah, the wind has died down somewhat, but it's still gusting close to 15 to 20 miles per hour. And People can probably hear it in our microphones.
2nd down 10, Vikings.
2nd and 10 now for the Vikings. Ball is at the 36-yard line after another turnover. And Christopherson drops the snap again. And Mulatalo fell on top of it. So 3 turnovers in 4 plays. And Lone Peak has it back again.
Priority 1 as a quarterback, secure the ball. Well, when you don't do that, the ball ends up on the ground, and Bob Mulatalo takes advantage and pounces on it. Great job by him to have the heads-up play to see that.
5 turnovers total already. 3 by Pleasant Grove, 2 by Lone Peak.
It's not been the cleanest game so far.
Line 1st and 10, Knights.
So the wind and the weather really playing a factor here in this first quarter and a half or so. 1st and 10 from the 33 following the turnover. Here's Wright going to the left side. And he gets about maybe 7 yards, and this time he does hold on to the football.
Great job by that left side of the offensive line. Austin Pay obviously out there at left tackle. They made it easy on him. He was 5 yards downfield before initial contact. That's a great run there.
They give him officially 8 yards on the play. In case anybody missed it, Alexander to the left, Jake Hatch here at Knight Stadium on a windy night here in Alpine. We have 5 total turnovers already and 17 points, all by Lone Peak. Both teams trying to find some traction here in this part of the first half. Handoff again goes to Wright. This time he's brought down short of the line to gain by a flying Brody Downs, among others.
Yeah, good job by Downs there to come down the line and make that tackle there and make it a 3rd down. That play, it's one of those ones that kind of go with the body punch theory. That's the type of run that's going to be a body punch later in this game. It's going to end up going for 4 or 5 yards.
It's okay, you can pass.
3rd down and less than a yard. Need to get to the 22-yard line for a 1st down. As they accidentally played the 3rd down sound, but the offense is out there instead of the defense. Wright motions now out of the backfield. Play clock running down to 3. Now to 2. Now to 1. Niumatolu just gets it away. Free rusher coming, and the pass is incomplete. As Niumatolu took a shot from Brody Downs.
Yeah, I will give Niumatolu for staying in the pocket there and absorbing that hit. That was brutal. Downs came like a bullet off the edge. And they're checking with him now, like Gary Trowbridge saying, "Are you good?" While we talk about the play.
That has to be the most uncomfortable thing as a quarterback, to know that you just got nailed by a free rusher coming off the edge.
Well, and that's the extra man, though. That's what you do with those blitzes. You're trying to. Oh, what do we got going on here?
Yeah, we got 9 seconds on the play clock here. They're still not out the line.
Yeah, they're gonna have to hurry.
2 seconds, 1 second, and they're not gonna get it off.
Called timeout.
Yep, and that's the final timeout for Lone Peak in this first half. But all told, it's been all Lone Peak so far. The number 22 team in the nation flexing their muscle up 17-zip. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the Rewind Sports Network and our coverage of Lone Peak football presented by Skin Science Institute. Thank the good folks in Nutricost for their sponsorship of this game. 4th and a yard here for Lone Peak. I formation. It's a handoff to Wright, and he's got it, and then some. Cuts it back. Goodbye. Touchdown.
Sam Wright picks up 1 yard and a whole lot more.
Look, I want to give credit to the Lone Peak offensive line there, but Sam Wright, 2 cuts in the hole there, and he's off to the races and scores a touchdown. What a great individual effort. But yeah, you got to give it the tip of the cap, the O-line, for creating that crease, but he did the rest after that.
2nd rushing touchdown of the game for Sam Wright. And the number 22 team in the nation continues to pour it on here early in this first half. Reckon Carr's foot's probably going to be black and blue by the end of this game. He boots that one up, but he misses the extra point off to the left.
Well, he talked about his foot being black and blue. That was a toe shot. He mishit that one badly.
Well, the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of Lone Peak football is presented all season long by G2G Protein Bar, helping busy people eat well when they're on the go, and also presented by National Auto Plaza, where you can find the best deals on the best cars, trucks, and SUVs with a rebate of $3,500. And also presented by Black Desert, Remarkable Within Reach, proud sponsor of the PGA Tour's Black Desert Championship.
Hey, proud sponsor of DJ and PK on the KSL Sports Zone as well.
Yes, there you go.
Our title sponsor, there you go.
Lone Peak puts 6 points on the Stacey Rogers Magnify Realty.
You could, of course, listen to
scoreboard.
David James and Patrick Kinahan every morning on the KSL Sports Zone. Also want to welcome those of you listening to our broadcast as part of the KSL Sports Rewind Friday Night Red Zone. Brecken Carr will kick off, and it's a squib kick. Probably shanked it just a little bit. Fumble on the return, and it's dived on top of by Hafen, among others.
And that's exactly what that play was designed to do. Create confusion with those up backs and cause them to have to bounce on it. It worked to perfection.
Vikings ball.
So the Vikings will have a 1st and 10 inside the 20 at the 17-yard line officially. As now Spencer Hafolka looks like he's going to come back out at quarterback. So another quarterback change here for Taylor Walkenhorst, the offensive coordinator and head coach, trying to get something sparked here in this first half. From the 17, 1st and 10. Another wide snap. Hafolka has plenty of room, and he is hit. The ball comes out, but the ball is recovered by one of the offensive linemen. Stasic nailed Hafolka, punched it out, but still able to get it back.
He is lucky his offensive line was Johnny on the spot there and noticed that, or otherwise that would have been their 4th turnover. In the end, 9-yard pickup. Nice QB counter there.
2nd and 1.
Credit Carter Davidson with the fumble recovery. Good alert play.
Yep.
2nd down and a yard now from the 26-yard line, and we're going to have a false start.
Yep. Well, you talk about Davidson, he recovers that fumble and then costs him his team 5 yards. You know?
51 offense, 5-yard penalty, remain 2nd down.
Again, Dave Wallace is our official here tonight, wearing the microphone. 2nd time this year that we've had an official mic'd up over the microphone. The other time was at Timpview.
2nd down, 6 Vikings.
And what a game that was that night.
Absolutely.
In Provo, Utah. A big statement win by the number 22 ranked Knights. 2nd down, pass that is dropped in and out of the hands of the slapback Adam Wright.
Jaden Mayberry defending on the play.
Yeah, that's a frustration. He kind of threw the guy off of him and just in frustration. Those are the plays that Pleasant Grove all night tonight. They had opportunities to catch balls and they're just dropping them.
8:40 left to go, 2nd quarter. Alexander Timolek, Jake Hatch. Number 22 ranked Lone Peak in front 23-0. It has been all Lone Peak from the very beginning of this ball game. Man goes in motion. Hafolka, extra men on the rush, throws on the middle. That pass is a little bit wide and incomplete. Intended for Brennan Houghton.
Yeah, Hafolka got a little juiced on that one, threw it too far in front of his guys. I'm still not sure they would have gotten 1st down yardage there, but you got to give your guy a chance to get that ball in his hands at least.
So now Mason Anderson will punt the football, and he's going to have the wind here at his back. Again, it's a swirling wind coming in from the northwest. And it is being very much amplified by the mountains and being amplified by the stadium here, as that punt is almost blocked, but a good punt. And Goff is going to let this one go, and boy, what a kick.
Oh, baby.
That one is going to die at about the 10, rolling down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. My word. 71-yard punt. And that's with the wind, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We want to say that.
Hey, like I said, you take the advantage when the wind's at your back. Those punters will do that too. And that ball, it rolled out nicely as if it was a nice big drive on a wide open fairway.
Yeah, so much so Landon Goff said, forget it, I'm not returning this thing.
He didn't even bother.
They officially mark it at the 7-yard line, so officially a 72-yard punt by Mason Anderson. And this is by far the deepest starting field position Lone Peak has had all night.
Yeah, they started another drive inside their own half of the field.
I don't think they have.
They've been plus side, yeah.
They've been close to the plus side all night long, but this is the first time they're starting from inside their own 50 instead of their own 50. It's their own 10. Niumatolu to throw. Pressure coming. Throws. And that is incomplete as he gets planted by Anderson in the end zone. Mayberry was in the area, so that is not intentional grounding.
Yeah, those are the plays as a quarterback. You're like, I hope a guy's somewhere over there. I'm just going to throw it into the dirt there and try and get away with it. And Mayberry luckily was on that crossing route.
8 minutes and 32 seconds officially left here in the first half. 23-0 Lone Peak. This has been all Knights here so far. Knights still trying to find some traction, though, on offense. A lot of short fields, though, they've had to work with in this first half. Here's a little pop pass to Goff coming around the left side. Gets a block, and Mayberry actually gets another block, and he gets ridden down out of bounds close to the marker. As meanwhile, Ike Staley comes up a little gimpy, and they're going to give Mayberry a first down at the 21-yard line. Enough to move the sticks.
That's what I love about a guy like Jay-Sean Mayberry. You give him the ball and just let him go make plays. When you give him the open field like that, he's absolutely dangerous. He was one step away from breaking down the open field and going for 6.
And forgive me if I butcher the name because I thought it was Goff, but that's Mayberry who came in motion on the pitch pass. 1st and 10 now from the 21. Partially marked at the 20.5-yard line. Niumatolu audibleizing. And it's a fake play action to Tahi looking downfield. Niumatolu with time and fires. That is complete. And complete up close to the marker. That's Aaron Park who comes in to make the catch, the backup wide receiver.
Yeah, Spencer Fofoka made a big tackle there. Otherwise, that would have gone for a lot more of a gain. Easily could have gone for a touchdown.
8-yard gain in the play.
That's how close some of these plays have been so far, Alex. Is they're like one guy away. Only thing saving Pleasant Grove right now is the fact that they're tackling, I think, extremely well, all things considered.
2nd and 1 for the Knights.
I'm going to say Mayberry's going to get a fly pattern, and he's going to go all the way here on this play, now that we just said that. 2nd and 1 from the 30. Up back goes in motion to the right. Handoff goes to the left side. Tahi, big hole, bounces off a tackle, stays upright somehow, and gets the first down.
You got to give credit to Tahi. He had 2 guys punching to that football, and he held on to there. Gets the first down yardage. Those guys were hacking to that football, and they could have very easily come out, but he had good ball security there.
Credit also the left tackle Connor Pay for getting the block on the outside that opened up that hole. As Josh corrects me, it's Austin, not Connor.
Connor is right there.
Connor is literally on the sideline.
That black t-shirt right down there.
Yes, we can see him from our perspective.
He's hanging out with some of the BYU coaches on hand here to watch Austin, as well as other players like Bob Mulatalo.
And I'm sure Kalani Sitake is watching the Timpview game somewhere tonight. Ooh, wrong way, misdirection. Didn't matter. Tahi able to pick up the first down anyway. That's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen Niumatolu go the other way with the handoff. And was able to turn around in time for Tahi to pick up another first down.
I just love how Tahi runs. It's that kind of high-stepping just running style. Allows him to just chop up the field and kind of step through those arm tackles.
23 has equipment malfunction.
And Tahi will have to come out because of an equipment malfunction. For those just watching, Josh Dodge panned down to the sideline. And that was Connor Pay walking down there.
Knights.
So good job by Josh to pick that out. 1st and 10 now from the 47. Remember, this drive started back at the 7-yard line. Niumatolu from the gun. Play action. Has so much time. You can read a book back there. Throws, and the pass is incomplete through the hands of Owen McNeil.
Yeah, you mentioned the fact he has got a lot of time back there. Pass pro has been absolutely stellar so far by this offensive line. They have given him all the time in the world. The only time he's really been threatened is when they've had to bring extra pressure to that free rusher get after him.
Lone Peak on the move here. Close to midfield with 6:24 left here in the quarter. Alexander Smolip and Jake Hatch from Lone Peak Knights Stadium here in Alpine, Utah. On a very windy Friday night. Play clock down to 5. Niumatolu brings Cameron Ray, the backup tight end, in motion, and they get it away. Niumatolu throws the tunnel screen. It's incomplete, intended for Staley, as there was a lot of traffic on the Timpanogos Highway.
I'm also not sure that Ike Staley knew that ball was coming his way. He kind of like the ball hit him. He kind of looked at him like, hey, oh, that was me. Okay, sorry.
Brody
Downs defending on the play. Third down coming up here. Interesting, Lone Peak up 23-0 Hatch, but both teams combined just 3 for 9 on third downs here in this first half.
Yeah, it's not been the best in terms of overall moving the sticks. You're talking about getting ahead of the sticks. A lot of these have been 3rd and longs, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, in this case 3rd and 10 here.
And the play clock running inside of 4. Remember, Lone Peak has no more timeouts. They cannot call a timeout. Here's a handoff to Tahi going left. He's lucky to get a couple up to about the 48-yard line. They mark him officially at the 49. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the play. And we'll see what offensive coordinator Gary Trowbridge wants to do.
Still on their side of the 50 here, 4th and 8.
It looks like they're going to go for it, at least try to jump.
Well, that wind just kicked up, and it may have forced their hand and saying, you know what, if we kick into this, we don't never know what might do.
Yeah, we already saw what happened with Anderson's punt going that direction.
Now, could there be a check here from Niumatalu that where he could just quick kick it? Absolutely.
Possibly could. We'll see. He just motioned Tahi out of the backfield. He will not. And it's a 3-man rush. He's going to throw it to that sideline. It is caught.
It's going to be short.
But I believe it is going to be short. It is. It's going to be short by about a couple of yards. Jay Sean Mayberry made the catch, but 2 yards short of the marker. And that's a turnover on downs.
That's that deep hitch pattern. You got to get beyond the sticks, though, if you're going to run that. He ran it to the sticks and came back 2 yards.
So Pleasant Grove will take over 1st and 10 on the 45. We want to remind you the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of high school football continues next week. Be sure to join us from Alta High School. Olympus takes on the Alta Hawks. What a game that's going to be in Sandy next Friday night. Join us for that one at 7 p.m. on your home for Alta Hawks football on the Rewind Sports Network. Of course, Gavin Atkinson and I will be at Maple Mountain Orem in the game of the week next week. On the swing out here is Christensen trying to get to that sideline. He gets lucky to pick up at least a couple of yards. Looked like they had it strung out, but Goff not able to get there quickly enough.
Yeah, great job there by Lone Peak on their defense, just riding him to the sideline. Talking about the sideline being the 12th defender, you take advantage of it as much as you can.
2nd down and 9.
23-0 Lone Peak, but Pleasant Grove has had their opportunities to move the football. In this first half, they forced 2 turnovers, but they have not scored on either of the turnovers. Lone Peak, meanwhile, has scored on all 3 of the ones they've had.
And we have switched quarterbacks again. We got Christopherson in there.
You're right. Christopherson is back in there at quarterback. High snap. Christensen gets the handoff going left side. He gets maybe a couple. He gets wrestled to the turf by a host of black shirts. Calvin Leava'a, among others, with the stop.
2-yard gain in the play.
So yet another 3rd and long. Here's me 3rd and what? We got long 7, I guess, to be generous here. That's what's kind of been all night long for both of these teams. You talk about, I think are we now 3 of 10, I think, between the 2 teams?
I believe you're right. It's not to say both teams have had their opportunities, though.
No, they both have. You're right. It's just they've not been able to get ahead of the sticks very often on either side.
Double back set here for Christopherson. This might be 4-down territory.
Delay a game.
And delay a game is going to be called.
Final stop. Delay a game. Offense.
And that's unfortunate.
Remains 3rd down.
That's the first penalty of the night, by the way, against Pleasant Grove.
That's a young quarterback not recognizing to look at the clock and realize what he's got going on there. He's got to be able to look up, check clock, and be able to make his reads as well.
3rd down and 12 now. Christopherson gets walloped. No chance on that one. Mulatalo and Tahi among others. But there's a flag.
Yeah, what do we got here?
Down at the spot where the sack was made. Perhaps there might have been a face mask in there as well. We'll see what Dave Wallace says. Here's the call.
Personal foul. Number 69 of the defense.
Oh, man.
Illegal helmet contact.
Oh, boy.
15 yards from the end of the run.
So targeting. That's what they call it in the high school ranks, the illegal helmet contact. It's what the college rules of targeting.
Yes.
So that's going to give him enough yardage for the first down, right? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
actually, no.
It's automatic.
And it carries
is
an
it
automatic.
automatic?
It
I thought
carries
we-
automatic first down, so
I thought we didn't have automatics in high school and still. Because look at the yardage here. It's going to be 4th and short. It's with the yardage tacked on. It's going to be 4th and what? 3? Yeah. So there's no automatics in high school.
so yes.
We got the timeout taken by Pleasant Grove here.
So yeah, we do have a timeout. So Pleasant Grove going to talk this one over. They have 3rd and short coming up. Back after this word for the Salt Lake Running Company. So after the penalty, it'll be 4th down. Welcome back everyone to the Rewind Sports Network and our coverage of Lone Peak football, presented by Skin Science Institute. I want to remind you that the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of Lone Peak football is presented by doTERRA, the products that help athletes around the world maintain the highest level of health awareness and wellness. Learn more about how you can up your health and wellness game at doTERRA.com. Proud sponsor of Lone Peak football and Tech 9. Tech happily with Tech 9, where Utah goes for custom software development.
doTERRA having a big old convention up at the Delta Center the last 3 days.
That's right, and we were in the middle of it on Wednesday during Utah Hockey Club BD Day.
Yep.
4th and 3 here after the penalty. Christopherson hands off and getting the first down on a great run is Downs. Downs just puts his head down over the boom and carried a bunch of black shirts with him for a first down while he was at it.
Hey, if you were going to use the punt, I was going to use it. There's no doubt about that. He put his head down and just powered forward there. Great job by him to pick up first down yards. That was a much-needed conversion for Pleasant Grove. Should give him a little bit of confidence here, down 23-0.
This is the first time, by the way, that Pleasant Grove has been across midfield since the muff punt recovery all the way back in the first quarter.
It's a great point.
Double wide receivers to the left, double backs here for Christopherson. He's going to throw, and that pass is a little too hot to handle.
That's the 4th drop by Mike Hale for Pleasant Grove tonight.
That's Hafolka again.
That's 2 for him alone.
A little too hot to handle there from the freshman
And
quarterback.
he should know as a quarterback, hey, hold on to the football.
Yes. I wouldn't know because I'm not a quarterback. I'm a receiver. I have to hang on.
Well, I was going to say, Christopherson, he fired that in there. I will say that, but you want to bring those ones in.
Support for Horseman Racing, renowned for their expertise in high
On the 41-yard line, 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Again, double back set next to Christopherson. And Taylor Walkenhorst is walking out onto the field. He ain't happy with the alignment right there.
Timeout.
So it'll be another timeout.
Their 3rd and final timeout.
That's the 3rd timeout, so both sides now out of timeouts with 3 minutes and 46 seconds left here in the first half. Jake Hatch joining me, Alexander Timlip, here at Knight Stadium on this windy night here in Alpine. And Jake, so far, you really can't say it's been for a lack of effort because Pleasant Grove certainly has had their opportunities to move the football against this Lone Peak team.
Yeah, if it, like turnovers, drop passes, we're talking like something you can control, they're not controlling it. You're talking about controlling the controllable all the time when it comes to football. Pleasant Grove has not been able to do that. Had they been able to do that, this is probably a much better game than it is right now.
Now, the other side for Lone Peak, the inverse is also true. They've been able to convert on their opportunities
Correct.
when needed. And, you know, Hatch, it almost seems like they have found something a little bit on that offensive side.
Yeah, they've been doing a really good job mixing the run and pass. The nice part is you've got a really, really powerful offensive line. Get plenty of time to their quarterback and obviously opening holes for the running game.
So Christopherson out of the timeout, 2nd and 10 from the Lone Peak 41 to throw on first down pressure. Throws it up there for grabs, a lot of contact, and a penalty flag flies in from the back as Hafolka was being mugged back there by Mayberry.
Yeah, and Christopherson just fired that out there, hoping to get it somewhere downfield where Hafolka could come back to it. And it's unfortunate that the defensive back had a hold of him because had he let him go, it probably would have fallen incomplete anyways, but it's going to be 15 yards as a result. I was going to be holding instead of pass interference.
10-yard penalty, enough for a first down.
Yeah, it'll be a first down in the end all the same.
That's the 7th penalty of this half against Lone Peak.
Yeah, that'll be something that Bart Bronkbank is barking at his guys about in the locker room. Like if you got one thing you want to chide your guys over, that's what it's going to be, is just the mistakes. We're talking penalties that he's like, that's not championship caliber football. That's what they aspire to have here.
And also 3 turnovers in this half too, despite Pleasant Grove not scoring off of all 3 of them. They could prove costly against better teams. Here's Christensen taking it up the middle, and he gets smothered Yeah, Iava'a was right there among others to make the stop.
Yeah, there was an outside linebacker blitz from both sides, and whichever one got there first was going to make the play in the backfield. There was no block on the perimeter there to slow them down.
Jude Mulitalo also in on the tackle. He's also had some mop-up duty for his brother earlier this season. Approaching 3 minutes to go in this first half as the wind picking up once again from behind us now. Wind coming from the other direction from the west.
Yeah, coming across,
Coming across from the west and also swirling inside of Knight Stadium. Second down and long. Blitz coming and the pass is batted down. That's Jude Mulitalo again on the delayed blitz.
Well, he's saying, hey, my older bro's got obviously the bigger name out there in the recruiting circles. I'm just as good. Watch this.
So third down coming up again here for Pleasant Grove as they are trying to break this bagel on the scoreboard right now before halftime.
And the mentality here has got to be you're going for it on fourth down. You're looking to get 5, 6, 7 yards here. Hopefully set yourself up to go for it on fourth down. At this point, you got to go for broke.
Play clock down to 5. As the student section turning up the noise, they just got it away. Pressure coming, and Christopherson gets absolutely mauled. Junior Tahi comes in with a big hit. As
we had a ball thrown on the field in the middle of that play, but Junior Tahi, holy smokes. He just bodied Christopherson. Like, I'm not sure he even got touched coming off the line there.
Warning, the low tape for throwing on the field.
Yeah, that'll cost their team if they do that again. That's 15 yards. Don't do that. That's a tennis ball that's thrown onto the field, like literally in the middle of that play.
Yeah, there it is on the screen right there. For those wondering, Josh is pointing the camera straight at it.
Out of the corner of my left eye, I'm seeing something fly through. I'm like, what is that? I look over as a tennis ball flying onto the field. I'm like, what is that? Anyways,
that's a new one.
It doesn't take anything away from Junior Tahi. What an absolute monster sack that was.
It's fourth down and 22 for the Vikings.
So 4th and a mile here. No choice for Pleasant Grove. They have to go for it. Approaching 2.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Christopherson just going to throw the prayer, and it's incomplete down the field, and that'll be a turnover on downs. So back-to-back turnovers on downs for both sides. Getting back to that hit that Junior Tahi made.
Turnover on downs.
I mean, I have to throw the Hawaii football reference in there, Hatch. You know the name Leonard Peters.
I do.
That reminded me of a Leonard Peters hit right there. Number 42 racing across the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I'm telling you, I think they ran a twist stunt there. I don't think he even got picked up, and all he did is just body Christopherson, and it just folded him to the ground.
First and 10.
First and 10 from the 42-yard line after the turnover on downs. So again, back-to-back turnovers on downs. So all told, 9 total turnovers in this first half. Niumetolu to throw on first down, throws the comebacker. That's complete to McNeil, trying to break a tackle. And Downs gets over there to diagnose the play, but not before he picks up a first down after a pick up a 12.
All right, big opportunity here to run the 2-minute drill for Lone Peak at 2:13 when this drive started.
But no 2-minute warning.
Correct, yes.
That's in college football.
Hey, what do you mean the 2-minute timeout?
Whatever it's called. I call it the 2-minute warning.
It's a 2-minute warning. Stop calling it a timeout.
It's a 2-minute warning. Pass is deflected. That's almost picked off. Downs was in the area on that tip ball. Jackson, I believe that wasn't Mortensen that got his hand on it. That was Nate Schroeder, who came in on a linebacker blitz.
Good job by Schroeder there, breaking through the line, keeping his hands high, obviously, to deflect that pass. And it's unfortunate Downs couldn't get underneath that one and get another interception.
Would have been the 3rd turnover for Lone Peak in this first half. We would have had 6 total turnovers. Counting the turnovers on downs, we would have had 10.
Correct.
Niumetolu from the gun, extra men on the rush, throws the wide out. That is incomplete, short, intended for Staley, and it'll bring up another 3rd down.
That Foca out there in coverage.
Ike Staley, the intended receiver.
I think that wasn't Foca. He was trying to break on that. He was about a step behind where he had a chance to break on that a little bit better. He might have been able to take that one to the house.
3rd down and 10 for the Knights.
But I'll show you that wind. You saw that ball kind of die in the air there. I know that Niumetolu has got a really, really strong arm, but that ball had no chance to get where it needed to go.
And right on cue, Hatch, the wind just picked up again.
Yeah, I was going to say, here it goes. It's ripping again.
And once again, it's a northwest wind coming at the Knights here. 3rd down and 10 from the 48-yard line. Might be 4-down territory. Niumatolu the throw, throws the fade route for McNeil, and it's in and out of his hands, incomplete, and a late flag comes in from the side judge.
I don't agree with that call at all, no offense. That should have just been an easy play. Ball's underthrown, you're hand fighting, let it go, but unfortunately it's going to be first down yardage.
Holding on the defense.
Holding?
10-yard penalty will be enough for a first down.
Did you see a hold there? I only saw pass interference, if anything, but hey, what do I know anymore?
What do I know either? Dexter Nuttall called for the foul.
That hurts. That absolutely hurts Pleasant Grove there.
First and 10, Knights.
Second penalty of the game just a second penalty for Pleasant Grove, but boy is it a biggie.
Yep.
First and 10 for the 37-yard line following the penalty. Here's a handoff to Wright, left side, lot of space. Wright going for the hat trick. Touchdown!
You know what?
Sam Wright with his 3rd touchdown of the half.
That was a great halfback power play. Got both offensive linemen from the right side pulling up on it. They blocked it to perfection. Cornerback didn't recognize it in time. He's right down the sideline for 6. What a play. What a play design.
And how about that block, too, on the edge from Mayberry?
Yeah. Mayberry, well, I'm telling you, the cornerback had no idea it was coming his way. Mayberry said, okay, well, you keep running downfield. Oh, now we'll engage, and he's going to slide right by you for 6.
Good snap, good hold. Brecken Carr's kick is up, and it is good. 30-0 in favor of Lone Peak. Number 22 team in the nation, really flexing their muscle here in this first half. I want to remind everyone the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of Lone Peak football is presented all season long by the good folks at Skin Science Institute. You can start your journey as an aesthetician today. Visit skinscienceinstitute.com to schedule a tour and enroll now. And Lone Peak football also presented by Taco Bell, where fans and flavor come together. Taco Bell reminds you to enjoy the game and to live Mas.
I want a Crunchwrap Supreme all of a sudden. Let's go.
I want some Taco Bell right about now, delivered here via DoorDash.
Brecken Carr to kick off for the Knights.
Brecken Carr will kick off for the Knights as the wind picks up again from the left side. Carr this time squibs it again. Picked up on the hop by one of the Upmen. And getting back to about the 30-yard line before getting plastered. Right at that spot is Alton Pine.
He's hit by Anthony Grimmer and Caleb Bradshaw.
Well, that touchdown drive from Lone Peak took all of 41 seconds. So you'll have a minute 27 for Pleasant Grove here. Now, you mentioned it, neither team has any timeouts. They're going to have to work quickly if they want to get anything here.
And at this point, Hatch, if you're Pleasant Grove, I think if you're Taylor Walkenhorst, you just want something positive going into halftime.
Correct,
because you're down 30-0. I know, but you still want something positive going into halftime.
Bingo, yeah. If you can get something out of this, even if it's just a field goal, give you guys some momentum going into the locker room.
Another quarterback change. Spencer Hafolka now back in. And it's a handoff to Downs going up the middle. Downs able to break some tackles, lowers the boom on somebody, and gets all the way out to the 40-yard line, across the 40 to the 43.
I love the way that Downs runs the football. He just seeks out contact, just bowling guys over. Well done. Now they got to work quickly here because they obviously got to move the sticks. They're going to pause the clock momentarily, but you got to get right on it. You can't be huddling here. You got to be able to run just 2 minutes.
It's going to look like everybody was set. The ball's out again. Hafolka dives back on top of it. And so the Vikings are going to have to go quickly here with it. Under a minute now here in the first half.
Yeah, look at miscommunication there. Hafolka thought he was handing it off the back. He's like, what do you mean? That's my ball? Oh, okay. Well.
Loss of 2 on the play.
And that's probably going to cost him here. So.
For the Vikings.
Yeah, probably right now all you're thinking about is just getting it to halftime, really, at this point.
Yep, don't avoid a critical error here.
The way Brody Downs runs, it reminds me of one Nate Ilawa.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, just here's the thing. He seeks out contact.
And seeks out contact.
Yep.
Exactly. Hafolka got to run the screen play, and that pass should have been picked off. Andy Stice read that like a book.
That ball looked like it was thrown to Andy Stice. He was that right in the hip pocket of the intended receiver there. Holy smokes!
We almost had a Keith Trailer moment right there. So third down coming up here for the Pleasant Grove Vikings. Want to remind people that if we reach 35 points, a running clock will be initiated in the second half. So we are about a touchdown away from that happening for Lone Peak. Play clock down to 3, down to 2. Hafulka is gonna, they just get it away. Looking, throws on the middle, pass is incomplete. Almost took out the umpire with it, had to dive for cover. And it's fourth down with 17 seconds to go, and no questions asked here. They're going to punt the football.
Occupational hazard being an umpire, though. That ball whizzes right past you sometimes.
I mean, that was coming for the umpire's head.
It was. He literally just ducked and covered.
Kicking will be Mason Anderson with the Vikings.
Vikings short a gunner. And I'm sure the gunners are going to be in here for the Vikings to make sure this punt doesn't get blocked. Mason Anderson with the wind at his back. He's going to punt this buddy up into the air. And Goff this time makes a clean, fair catch at the 21-yard line.
Good job by Goff on that. That ball was up there in the air, and that can do anything up there when it's windy like this.
So with 10 seconds left officially, 9 seconds left here in the first half, you would expect the Knights are just going to kneel the football here. Remember, the Knights will get the ball to start half number 2. And so, as expected, Gary Trowbridge going to throw out the victory formation and not take any more risks. But it appears that on the evidence we've seen here in this first half, it appears the Lone Peak Knights have found something in this first half, and really over the last 4 quarters, as they take a 30-0 lead into the locker room. And Jake Hatch, I turn to you now. That's 2 weeks in a row now. Over the last 6 quarters now, Lone Peak has put up 65 points. And you have to say, like I said, on the evidence of this game so far, Lone Peak looks like they found something offensively.
Well, yeah, they have a quarterback. That's one of the big bugaboos for Lone Peak the last few years is their quarterback play has been less than what it needed to be. Kepaniametalu has actually answered the bell and has become the quarterback they need to kind of settle this offense. And the best part about Gary Trowbridge is he's about as unique offensive coordinator as you'll see in the high school ranks. So now his playbook is absolutely wide open.
What a first half for the Lone Peak Knights. Again, 65 points up in the last 2 quarters, and they lead 30-0. The number 22 team in the nation cruising here tonight on this windy night here at Alpine. We'll be back in the second half. Welcome back, everybody, to Lone Peak Football on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Skin Science Institute, where you can begin your journey to becoming a statistician today by visiting skinscienceinstitute.com to schedule a tour and enroll now. Also presented by G2G, fresh, healthy, and delicious. When you eat one, you'll know. Alexander Tim up alongside our broadcast partner, Jake Hatch, from Lone Peak Knights Stadium here in Alpine, Utah, on this windy night. 30-0. The Lone Peak Knights, the number 22 team in the nation, leads Pleasant Grove as we get set to start the second half. Hatch, I turn to you, and a very comprehensive offensive performance by Lone Peak.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could say they were all mostly on short fields, but you have to admit, 65 points in the last 6 quarters is pretty impressive. Yeah, this offense has come to life. There's no doubt about it. The best part is, it felt like they left a bunch of points on the field there as well. So this could have been even worse in terms of the margin right now. But hey, Pleasant Grove, they've had their opportunities, have been unable to capitalize on any of them so far. Talk about Sam Wright, the tailback. 3 touchdowns in that first half. And you talked about how that offensive line, led by Austin Pay, is just making moves downfield. I mean, there were times you said where Sam Wright wasn't even touched before he was like 6 yards down the field. Yeah, that's the life of a running back who's having a good night. He's got a hat trick, as you mentioned, of touchdowns. He's sitting here thinking, hey, keep doing what you're doing. I also want to give a shout out. Jared Smith, their other right tackle, he deserves a shout out as well because he's been doing a lot of the pulling tonight, and he's been absolutely masterful at finding his guy and sealing him off and allowing the backs just to kind of motor upfield.
the mark of a good offensive line is when that, what do they call it? It's the yards gained before contact. There's a term for it. Anything more than 3 is like elite. Most of these runs have been 3, 4, 5 yards before he's being contacted.
Lone Peak will get the football to start half number 2. Open the scoring with a block punt for a safety. And that really opened up the floodgates, despite the fact Lone Peak turned the ball over 3 times in the first half. Pleasant Grove not able to capitalize on their opportunities. Lone Peak, meanwhile, it was able to capitalize on their opportunities. Actually, I should say Pleasant Grove had 2 takeaways, Lone Peak 3. But off of those 3 takeaways, Lone Peak scoring 21.
Yeah. Good teams will make you pay for your mistakes. That's exactly what Lone Peak has done so far.
Adam Carreri will kick off.
Kicking off is Pleasant Grove.
And a short kickoff. Might have gotten underneath that one. It's a live football, and it is
See the
smothered
backspin on that?
Yeah, the backspin on it, too. Smothered at the 35-yard
It's like a nice
line.
58 degrees. Slid right underneath the ball, and a nice backspin on it. Nicely done. They're trying to catch Lone Peak in their retreat there to see if they could get a quick turnover, and luckily Lone Peak had heads up on it.
Down by number 92, Tate King.
Tate King, one of the upbacks, was the one who fell on the football.
It's 1st and 10.
So out steps this offense, and looky here, we're going to have a quarterback change. So it looks like Kepa Niumatolu's night is done. And it's going to be Ike Staley who's going to take it the rest of the way here for LP. And he fakes the handoff on first down, hands it off to Tahi going left, and he gets tackled after a minimal gain of about maybe a yard.
Yeah, and I can understand why they took Kepa out of this game, because he took 2 monster shots, if you recall, in that first half. Why expose him to any additional damage you don't need in a game like this where you're in firm control of? By the way, also gives Ike Stanley a lot of experience to play in a game like this.
6 foot 5 inches tall, Ike Staley is.
I swear, every quarterback that comes through Lone Peak is like 6'4", 6'5". Like,
Yes.
what do they do out here in Alpine and Highland?
They probably play basketball, too,
They
because I know
probably
Ike
do,
Staley
yeah.
does. He's going to throw for the first time. We've seen this before, and he's going to launch a bomb down the field, and he had parked by a step,
Yeah, Ike
but
Staley.
just overthrew it by about a half a yard.
Sorry, Ike Staley just learned that, hey, the wind, yeah, just ratchet it back just a
Number
touch.
7, and he's stopped by number 7. Defended by Spencer Fafoka.
Niumatolu there on the side. Niumatolu standing on the sideline. His pads are somewhat undone, so for now his night is done, unless this gets a little bit more interesting. And Ike Staley, who was the Wildcat quarterback for most of the first 3 games, including that game against Timpview where Lone Peak pulled off that stunning upset on the road. Staley had a hand in that too with the rushing touchdown and a pass for the 2-point conversion. Staley on 3rd down throws, passes, caught. Christensen diving for the first down marker, and
that's a
he is
bad
going
spot.
to be marked short.
That's a bad spot. That should have been a first down
That
easily.
should have been a first down, but it looks like they're going to
full
mark
yard.
him where he started diving, and so it's 4th and
And
about.
it looks like it's marked short of the first down.
Call it a yard. What
Yeah.
about the length of a hot dog bun away from a first down?
Yeah,
So
that side judge cost him 2 yards there.
So the former quarterback, that dive must have started. It looked like that dive actually might have started about the 44.5-yard line. That's why they marked it short. So Staley on 4th and a yard. To be surprised if Lone Peak snaps this. And they will not, because the play clock was running out, so they'll have to burn a timeout. So we will take one as well. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter. Number 22 ranked Lone Peak in front.
Yeah, I played against Lone Peak all right. What years did you
4th down and about, call it a yard here for the Lone Peak Knights. And they come out in the old brotherly shove formation. Penalty flag goes down. I suspect they had too many men in the backfield.
Yeah, I think it'll be illegal formation there.
And so that is going to make it 4th and a bit longer. And I believe where the score is, I believe Bart Brockbank's going to punt the football.
Illegal motion. Number 5 in the offense.
Ah, legal motion.
5-yard
Right.
penalty. Replay 4th down.
Doesn't matter. It's 4th down and 6 anyway, so Landon Goff will come in to punt for the 3rd time here tonight.
Jay Sean Mayberry must have gone in motion, but went towards the line versus staying parallel.
That allows me to bring up that other thing. That's illegal motion when there's a player going towards the line of scrimmage. Illegal shift is the 2 men going in motion but never resetting.
Correct.
Because there's truly no such thing as offsides. There is offside.
Yes. We got more stuff on the field.
As we have trash that blew onto the field. Again, it's a windy night here in Highland. Actually, they're going to call a penalty.
15-yard penalty. Fourth down.
Wow.
Going to call a penalty on Lone Peak for throwing objects onto the field. So
The unsportsmanlike will be given to the bench as a general bench.
I'm not sure that was actually coming in from the crowd. I thought it was just trash, as you mentioned. It kind of blew onto the field, but White Hat decided it was a penalty-worthy offense.
Well, we've already seen a punt go 72 yards here tonight from Mason Anderson. I wonder if we'll see another one here from Landon Goff, if he could get it that far. It's a sidewinder into the wind, so not a lot of distance on this thing, and this is going to take another hop. And
it's rolling out.
right on cue. Ball's going to die at the 15-yard line. So not a 72-yard punt, but this was a 60-yard punt by Landon Goff with the win.
That'll do.
Same thing, it all works out.
Yep.
So 60-yard punt, no return. So we've seen a punt of 72 yards and a punt of 60 yards now, and now the Vikings will come out for the first time here tonight. I want to remind you, at the end of tonight's game, Jay Catch and I will be selecting our choice for the Heidemann and Associates player of the game, the player that went above and beyond the call for his team to get the win. Just like how Heidemann and Associates goes above and beyond the call to serve you, the client.
All right, we'll see what Pleasant Grove's got for us here.
And it looks like we're going to have yet another quarterback change, as this time it's Hafolka that will come out to start the second half. Hafolka started the game, and then
we got a single wing look here.
Yeah, the old Bob DeBeest pistol option look here as a sweep to the near side goes to Christensen, and he gets mauled. Tahi had her hands around him first, and then the whole rest of the gaggle of Knights came over to wrap him up.
Yeah, Mulatalo came and just cleaned up on him, and those are the hits you start running back shouldn't be taking in a game like this. That's a tough one.
Has been an impressive performance on both sides of the football for LP tonight. Loss of a yard here on the play. 2nd and 11 now for the Vikings. Trying to look
quite a few reserves out there for Lone Peak on defense.
2nd down, 11 Vikings.
And not a lot of starters out there. Play clock down to 1. They just got it away. Handoff goes to Christensen, and again, nowhere to go. That was Stice this time, who blew that up right in the middle.
We give us to Wade Christiansen, hit by Cooper Skosich and Max Hamlin.
That's been the impressive part about this Lone Peak D-line, is they have just not allowed Pleasant Grove to get much of anything in terms of a push by that offensive line. They've been living in the backfield all night long.
We've heard a little bit of that Gandalf, you shall not pass tonight.
Yep.
Play clock running inside of 10 again for the Pleasant Grove Vikings. Hafolka season. Play clock down to 2, down to 1. They just got it away. Hafolka, blitz coming, throws the tunnel screen. That's complete to Wilkes. And Wilkes caught the ball, fumbled it. And they're going to say it's a catch on a fumble, and Lone Peak has it.
Great play there. Can I get a number?
I thought it was Jude Mulatalo who recovered the fumble, but I think it was actually...
Yeah, it was Goff who tore it out. He was on the tackle there and just ripped it out. I'm going to get Mulatalo scooped it up, or fell on, excuse me.
So 4 turnovers now forced by Lone Peak tonight. Again, 21 points off of those 4 turnovers. Or the 3 previous turnovers, they scored 21. Lone Peak now takes over 1st and 10 at the Pleasant Grove, 17-yard line. Staley from the gun. They flip backside. This is a reverse. And getting inside the 10 and into the end zone for the touchdown is one of the backup receivers. Great. That's Talon Flinders.
Yeah, by the way, that flip backwards. You see how far he had to go just before even a white shirt was in the vicinity. What a play design, blocked up perfectly by that Lone Peak O-line, and we are now entering mercy rule territory.
Yep, as Jake Hatch said, 36 points is our margin, so the clock will be running continuously except on penalties and on timeouts. And the reserve kicker is in here for the Lone Peak Knights. That's Jake Barker, the junior, and he boots it up and through. So 37-0 in favor of Lone Peak as Barker nails his first extra point of the night. 37-0 in favor of Lone Peak back after the swerve from Nutricost.
And with the
Talon Flinders into the end zone from 17 yards out as the Lone Peak Knights now initiate running clock procedures here in this third quarter. We would like to remind you for $2, 100 million commercial loan people. For $2, 100 million commercial loaners. Call Popular Commercial Lending Group. Call in today, 801-694-6281 as Jake Barker's kickoff goes straight through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Well, we firmly got reserves out there. I'm not seeing a single Lone Peak starter on defense trotting onto the field right now. We have the coaches sit up here in the box and they're spotting from up high. They're heading down to the sideline. Lone Peak's shutting up shop essentially here.
Clock begins to run now. It's 7 minutes and 31 seconds officially left. Reminder that it is a 35-point margin. And Pleasant Grove now must get this to a 14-point game in order to stop the running clock. But the number 22 ranked Knights just too much tonight, as evidence right there, as Christensen is swallowed up in the backfield. Brought down on the play by Kai Tanuvasa, who normally plays quarterback, but he's in there as a defensive line tonight.
Yeah, even with these backup defensive linemen, they're still getting after. They've just absolutely mauled this Pleasant Grove O-line all night long.
Check that. That's actually Anthon Grimmer that was in there on the stop. I apologize.
Second down and 14 for the Vikings.
4 turnovers tonight forced by Lone Peak. 28 points off of the turnovers. The other 9 points came off of that block punt safety and then the ensuing free kick drive, as we have another penalty flag and a delay of game to be called here, unless Pleasant Grove called a timeout.
Timeout, Pleasant Grove.
So, Jake Hatch alongside me, Alexander Timolip. Jake, I now turn to you, and this really just does show you how good Lone Peak really is this season, because everybody kind of knew, okay, Lone Peak had a kind of an up and down year, took a bit to figure it out towards the end of the season, almost defeated eventual champion Corner Canyon in the quarterfinals, which I was there to call. Great game last year. I think everyone knows this year Lone Peak is a team to be dealt with, not just in Region 3, but I think they could be a team to be dealt with in 6A down the road.
Well, here's the thing. I mentioned earlier, they aspire to have championship-level football in this program, and last year fell way short of their expectations. You mentioned the fact that it took so long to really figure things out a season ago. They don't want to do that this year. They're showing right now that they've got that quote-unquote dog in them, and they're going to get after it.
And as we're saying that, Josh Dodge panning down to the sideline. They're showing Connor Payne walking the sideline.
Gonna engineer a big upset at Kansas State tomorrow night, maybe.
Perhaps. Here's a handoff to Christensen. Back to action we come out of the timeout, and he gets chopped down at about the 25-yard line. Grimmer again with a big hit.
Yeah, great tackle there.
Sorry, Jake. It'll bring up third down.
Yeah, Tavita Munga coming up and just mentioned chopping him down. Took his legs right out from underneath him. I was afraid we were going to have a helmet, like a knee to a helmet there, but luckily no worse for the wear for anybody.
That's always the worry, isn't it? When you go for the legs, you're always worried about that knee coming up and hitting you in the helmet.
Correct.
Hafoka going to keep it on the keeper, takes it to the right side, and he has the first down to the 31-yard line. Clock will stop momentarily while they set the chains.
Keeps the ball on the ground. Stopped by Caleb Bradshaw and Anthony Grimmer.
As the Knights have most of their reserves in here halfway through this third quarter, Alexander Timolip and Jake Hatch.
Well, the nice part about this is you may think, okay, this game's over.
Right.
For these reserves, it's not game over. This is an opportunity for them to kind of show what they're capable of. I'm sure that Coach Denny and the rest of the defensive staff here from Lone Peak's like, all right, see what you guys have got. Really prove that you are capable of playing more for us.
Christensen breaking some tackles, gets out over the 35 to the 38-yard line. I want to bring you up to date on some scores we're watching from around the state here tonight. About to start the fourth quarter. This Region 1 battle between Farmington and Syracuse deadlocked at 24. And how about Corner Canyon getting tested? The number 23 ranked team, a spot below Lone Peak in the rankings in the Super 25 and number 18 in the Max Preps rankings. They're getting tested by Mountain Ridge, up only 21-7.
Well, that's the thing about that. Corner Canyon's always got a target on their back. And you just,
exactly.
They were going to get everybody's best shot, there's no doubt.
They certainly got Lone Peak's best shot earlier this season.
Oh, yeah.
After that win against IMG Academy, I mean, Lone Peak came into that game, but you have to figure Corner Canyon comes in number 7 team in the nation, and Lone Peak went up 28-7 on them in the blink of an eye. Now I know everyone was saying, oh, but they didn't have Jerome Miles, oh, they didn't have Brighton Brady, et cetera, blah blah blah, whatever. But like, give Lone Peak their dues. I mean, they just beat the number 7 team in the nation as this pass is caught for a first down across the 40-yard line.
To your point, there's a program like Corner Canyon. Knowing what I know of that program, their staff is like, all right, you know what? It doesn't matter who's out there. We are supposed to be better than. I don't think that they're in that program saying that, hey, Lone Peak got one by us. They understood that Lone Peak straight up beat them.
I mean, not only straight up beat them, I mean, dominated them. Dominated them.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the most impressive part about it. It was not even a contest.
Well, it wasn't a contest until Helaman Kasunga made it a contest late as a handoff goes to Christensen, gets close to a first down.
By the way, he showed his ability in that game.
Oh, for goodness sake. I mean,
by the way, I want to say congratulations to Jerome Miles committing to USC.
Yes. Speaking of which, forgot to say that. Glad you brought it up. Jerome Miles committing to Lincoln Riley and USC earlier today, spurning Texas A&M. And I mean, how about the two other offers he got, though? Texas A&M and Utah. I mean, good gracious.
And he teases the Utah fans by pulling the hat just for a second, then dropping it.
Yeah, that probably wasn't cool. As we have a goodness, late hit. And now, look out. Everybody comes together on that far sideline.
Yep, keep your heads cool. Come on.
Some of the Pleasant Grove players coming off the bench, and you don't want to see that. Thankfully, Hafolka is up and okay, but he got sandwiched.
Yep.
And Jaden Mayberry was in the middle of that pile. There was another flag down here on the sideline as well. I suspect this is going to be for a holding of some form. And meanwhile, an official also has a hat off.
Yeah, Coach Denny's down here barking at his guys saying, hey, keep your heads, guys. Don't do anything stupid, because those are the situations where you find yourself getting a suspension. Looks like there was a punch there. Yeah, I thought we had...
And Josh Dodge might have just pointed it out. I think the official has his hat off. There might have been...
punch?
Some form of a punch stone, an open hand or a closed fist. We don't know, but
I'll just refer
there was a mass gathering of the clans.
Somebody reached out.
At the 30-yard line. There's 2 flags down plus a hat.
I'll echo my former head coach in high school. Why would you punch anybody with a helmet on? It only ends badly. It only ends badly for you.
It only ends badly. So Dave Wallace has some
let me get this sorted out here.
Yes, has some hall monitoring to do here.
Well, see, in the flag on the near side here, the one that was thrown earlier, I think that was a penalty during the play. You mentioned a hold of some sort, so there's going to be dead ball as well as live action. So it'll be interesting to see where this all ends up.
And if there was a punch stone, then I would assume that we may have somebody thrown out of the ball game, and you definitely don't want to see that in a game like this. Yeah,
then you're subject to UHSAA deciding to suspend you as well if you do stuff like that.
We have multiple fouls on the play. We have illegal use of hands on the defense.
Okay, that's the live ball.
We have illegal helmet contact on the defense. That'll be a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. We have unsportsmanlike conduct on number 25, unsportsmanlike conduct on number 1. The yardage of those two penalties will offset. It'll be first down, Pleasant Grove.
All right.
Okay, so after all of that, Dave Wallace is the one who threw his hat.
So we had two live ball penalties. So you mentioned the illegal use of hands as well as the illegal helmet contact, aka targeting, and then offsetting unsportsmanlike for the fracas after the play.
Right, and so Jaden Mayberry and Wade Christensen both called for the unsportsmanlike fouls, and have to say very fortunate that they did not get ejected. Because it looked like, from our vantage point, there was an open hand or a close fist punch thrown, but now Dave Wallace going over to head coach Taylor Walkenhorst and giving him an explanation. Recess is over, and we're back to football. Hopefully. Throw into the end zone here, going for Wilkes. That's incomplete. More laundry on the field. And I suspect this is going to be a pass interference.
Get your head around, no pass interference, but you never turn. So that's going to be an easy call for the officials.
Backup defensive back is going to get penalized for...
On the defense, number 17. Be half the distance to the goal. We replay first down.
No automatic first down on these penalties, as it is in high school football. Dallas Anderson, backup defensive back, called for the penalty as he was trying to cover. Yeah, as he was trying to cover from Ryder Huntsman, who had beaten him cleanly to the end zone. Full house backfield in the pistol now for Hafolka. First and short now from the 3. Handoff Christensen. He gets smothered at the line of scrimmage.
That was quite a formation. We had two guys in a three-point stance, like fullback three-point stance, running cross bucket action, and then we had the dive up the middle. That was quite a play design there.
Caleb Bradshaw made the stop on Wade Christiansen. Second down, short yardage.
Uh-oh.
And a fumble snap as Hafolka has to go dive back on top of it. Not the first time we've seen that tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, that one actually wasn't a bad snap. It seemed like Hafolka took his eye off it just for a second and glanced off of his hands, and then skipped past him. He had to go back and dive on it. That's unfortunate.
So it's going to be third and about the distance from here to Alpine, and from distance from here to Mount Timpanogos into the wind. Whichever way the direction is. At this point, I don't know.
I was going to say, Lone Peak's that direction. Tim's like directly in front of us, pretty much.
What do I know about my geography?
It's okay.
What do I know about my geography?
That's all right.
Penalty flag goes down for another offside. This is going to be the 10th penalty of the night against LP.
Hey, if we're ever running clock, can we not have the laundry come down? Just saying.
Yeah, we could probably hang up a clothesline right now with how much laundry has been dumped on the field. Dave Wallace's microphone not working.
Yep, getting a workout.
Some other scores you want to bring you up to date on. A very interesting one from a 1A score down south. Millard over Enterprise. Get ready for this. 3-0.
Wow. Barn burner,
Third down and 12.
Is that game at Enterprise?
No, it was that actually Millard. As that pass is intercepted in the end zone by Dallas Anderson. So he makes up for the penalty with the pick.
Yeah, you want.
And then we have more laundry on the field.
Dallas Anderson, you make up for the boneheaded penalty.
And then he does that.
And then you do that and get another 15 yards tacked onto it. You know? Take one step forward,
two steps
back. Okay, move on. Hey, you know what? He's celebrating. He's excited.
Dear.
He's a reserve.
And Bart Broadbank is looking for him right now.
Number 17.
Yep.
That foul would be in there for half the distance to the goal.
I mean,
of the touchback position. First and 10 Lone Peak at the 10-yard line.
I get why people are upset, but you can't toss the ball while you're looking at the official.
Don't do that. When the official's looking right at you, and you're like, "Hey, watch this! Woohoo!" Easy flag.
And I'm sure Bart Brockbank will be making an example out of that in the film room later on this week as well.
Yep. Yeah, you always want to have something to be able to bark your guys about, and the penalties will absolutely be what he's able to do.
Yeah, 11 penalties tonight. Handoff goes up the middle. Big hole That's not Brooks Wild carrying the ball, by the way, even though that's number 24.
Barney, the ball
That's actually
carrier.
Tate Barney who's carrying it, but he looked like Brooks
I was
Wild
gonna
for a
say.
second. Running up the middle.
I use the term all the time. Wild was running wild, but it was Barnes running wild on that one.
If it wasn't for Sam Wright getting yanked, though, in the first half,
Yeah.
I would have said, you know what I would have said? I would have said Wright could have done no wrong.
We're getting punny over here, everybody. Let's go.
It's 37-0, folks. Work with me here. Staley throws, passes incomplete.
Well, I know our good buddies Alex Napolis as well as Brian Brown. They're over at Skyridge Westlake. They had a mercy rule in the first half. It was 40-0, and with 2 minutes to go in the second
It was
quarter.
41-0 to 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Aaron's 37-0. Well, hopefully Hatch and I don't become punch drunk by the end of this game, but no guarantee. 37-0. Lone Peak, the number 22 team in the nation, leads. Back in we come to Knight Stadium here at Lone Peak High School. Alexander Timolip and Jake Hatch, number 22 ranked Lone Peak, flexing their muscle here tonight. Tonight's presentation of Lone Peak football, in addition to Skin Science Institute, where you can become an aesthetician by visiting them at skinscienceinstitute.com. Presented by Roofers Supply, your trusted partner with 8 locations throughout Utah. You can take it to the top with Roofers Supply, and you can also tech happily with Tech 9, where Utah goes for custom software development, and also presented by Roven Capital, partnering in your peace of mind through planning and investment management.
Got some sort of discussion down here with Coach Brockbank. He's been talking almost the entire time out, essentially, like between quarters there. Apparently he's satisfied with the explanation, and we're going to play on.
Again, running clock here for the rest of the game, with Lone Peak up 37-0. Mike Staley will go the rest of the way, we would assume, at quarterback. Hands off, this time up the middle, and running into the secondary and getting a first down once again is Barney.
Number 24, Tate Barney.
I mean, it's not Brooks Wild running the ball, but it certainly looks that way right now, as you see down on the field. I mean, look at that, Hatch. I mean, it's 37-0, and Ryan Denny's got that whole defense huddled by the screen.
He's always teaching. That's the thing about this. You got a bunch of reserves in there. He's showing them, hey, this is good, and then some of the bad as well. He's always in teaching mode.
That's what's made him one of the best defensive coordinators, if not in the state of Utah, probably nationally for a long time. As the handoff goes to Barney, left side, gets a block, tries to stiff arm his way out, and a good string out tackle there on that near sideline. Brought down to the play once again by Huntsman, who's had himself a good night here tonight defensively.
I will give credit to Pleasant Grove. They've actually been very solid in terms of their overall tackling tonight. Really sound.
And the real difference, and when you look at it, Hatch, the real difference is the turnovers. 4 turnovers for Lone Peak, 28
and they cashed
points.
in all 28, right? Yeah.
28 points off turnovers, and Pleasant Grove, 2 takeaways, and they turned it back over both times. Staley throws downfield, pass is caught, and out of bounds at the 38-yard line is Seth Woolley.
We are going deep on this roster, everybody.
We sure are.
Alex is like scrolling furiously through the roster.
This is like what Hawaii and June Jones used to do to their opponents.
Yes.
And poor Jim Leahy and Jim Donovan had to dig so far into the media guide, they weren't even listed on the 3D depth chart.
You got a guy out there who doesn't have a number. I think he's this guy.
Yeah, I think it was that guy that did it.
Yep.
As Barney breaks a tackle and tries to get an assist from his lineman, and then the full takedown comes near midfield. Good stop that time by Derek Brinton, another reserve lineman or linebacker in there. Connor Cameron on the stop.
Barney had quite a good average going there, but when you have a 10-yard loss, that's going to negate that real quick.
He probably rushed for over 10 yards to that point. Now it's probably back at 0.
Yep.
Second down, 19 for the Knights.
Anyway, as we're watching this game, you do want to give a shout out to Brooks Wild, of course, who somewhere in Colorado watching Tate Barney carry on his number. have to say Barney probably in line to start next year as the tailback for Brockbank as they throw downfield, goes to Woolley, passes incomplete. A lot of hand fighting, no flag.
Ball is incomplete. Intended for number 41.
Dexton Nuttall on the coverage, brings up 3rd and long.
Nuttall defending on the play.
Lone Peak will play American Fork next week at AF. What a game that is going to be. One of the great rivalries. Yeah, one of the great rivalries in Utah high school football. That game will be on KJazz with Dave Fox, Alema Harrington, and Tony Parks on the call. What a great night that's going to be. Staley throws downfield looking for a man. It's thrown behind the intended receiver and incomplete. Intended on the play for Isaiah Hafoka.
By the way, the quarterback battle next week in that game, David Gaisford down there at American Fork, Kevin Nimetelu here. That could be a really, really fun contest.
And you mentioned the quarterbacks. How about the offense we're about to see next week? I mean, Cade Wilkinson going up against Mayberry next week as well.
Yeah.
Two great defenses. One coached by Chris Busing, the other coached, of course, by Ryan Denny, as we have a bit of confusion here on who should be out, who shouldn't be out.
I'm going up. No,
I got this guy. You don't got this guy. I don't got this guy. Goff gets it away, sidewinder into the corner. And a bit of a dangerous pickup.
Jeez.
And getting hog-tied down at the 13-yard line by Bradshaw is Adam Wright. Wright took a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
And Wright almost did himself wrong right there by picking up that ball on the skip.
There we go. I'm waiting for it. He finally worked it in. Look at him go.
I'm sorry. I had to.
By the way, good friend of mine, Mark Coomer, is listening to us tonight. He's studies to be the quarterback here. So shout out to you, Mark. I know he's tuned in. He literally sent me a text. Said, thanks for all your great commentary tonight. Mark, a big part of the Royal Blue Collective down at BYU.
Oh, yes. And speaking of which, Niumetolu is keeping loose on the sideline. I don't think we'll see him go back in at this point with the clock.
Just playing catch with his boys.
Yeah, with the clock and the score being where it is. Handoff goes to Christensen. And he gets mauled there by a host of Darth Vaders.
Darth Vader's, all right.
Black and gold Darth Vaders, yes.
See, here's the thing. I do like the look of both of these teams. These have been a very good color scheme in terms of the matchup.
Yes.
The blue and white, obviously, from Pleasant Grove. You mentioned the black and gold from Lone Peak.
And a new quarterback, by the way. Josh Dodge just got a shot of Cruz Christensen, number 16, playing catch down there with Niumetolu.
Okay.
So we may see the third stringer, the sophomore Cruz Christensen, come in here to close it out. Assuming he gets a chance, of course. Hafoka on second down, steps up in the pocket, and he's going to get sacked. Zach Dunn, the senior linebacker, comes in and gets him. That's the 4th sack of the game.
Yeah, good job by Dunn there, just getting around the edge and not allowing his offensive lineman to get hands on him. Nice job by him individually to get that sack.
4-yard loss on the play.
You also have to appreciate, Hatch, both of these teams are playing this out to the very, very end.
Sure.
And like you said, Ryan Denny on one side, head coach Taylor Walkenhorst. This is the time in the game where you really find out what your kids are made of on both sides.
Yeah. It's a teachable moment, obviously. Both these coaches taking advantage of this. Walkenhorst been telling his guys, hey, that's the type of team we want to end up becoming. Now you're gonna learn, obviously, from this. Same thing with on the other side from Lone Peak. All these reserves getting valuable game experience.
Free rusher coming off the edge. Screen goes out, Christiansen. And he gets brought down. Great open field tackle by Grimmer.
Yeah, Christiansen has touched the ball probably 25 times in this game. He's just been bottled up all night long. It's been a frustrating night for him.
And this after he had over 100 yards rushing last year against Lone Peak's defense.
4th down and 11 for the Vikings.
So Mason Anderson will punt the football away, and with 5:37 and rolling, it looks like Cruz Christensen is going to get a chance to come on the field.
Mason Anderson.
Wind has all but died here now.
Yeah, the flags are just completely still. This one kind of off the side of the foot of Anderson. And the return man back there, backup returner Tavito Mounga, is going to let this one go. And it'll die right at the 37-yard line. One more time, we'd like to remind you the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of high school football continues next week. Join Gavin Atkinson and I for the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates as Maple Mountain takes on Orem. Coverage starts next week, Friday night at 6:50 p.m. on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. What a game that is going to be.
Should be a fun one. You got Taden Kaawa on one side from Orem High.
And two great coaches, too. Lance Reynolds the second, and, of course...
Lance Reynolds Jr.
Lance Reynolds Jr., technically, yes. Not Lance Reynolds the second, but that's what they call him, Lance Reynolds the second.
And we got a Viking down here.
Yep. Cruz Christensen is in at quarterback now for the Lone Peak Knights.
9.5 yards on the play.
6-foot sophomore. We'll go the rest of the way here. Brody Downs is injured and hurt. And like we said, Hatch, that game next week between Maple Mountain and Orem. I mean, Gavin and I are going to be there for that game. I mean, let's not forget Gavin, an Orem graduate, promised me, by the way. He's staring at me, by the way. I told him
homerific call
he has to. I told him he will stay impartial. But on a serious note though, Hatch, that game next week will be a big test for not only for Orem but for Maple Mountain, because it will be a real test to see are the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, even without Banks Jackson, are they still for real?
Well, so up at the zone where the KSL Sports Zone where I work, we're doing we have Northern Utah, Salt Lake County, and Utah County Players of the Week. Our winner this past week was Eli Malga from Maple Mountain. He ran for 200-plus yards last week.
Yep.
Just absolutely dominant in that game. You guys are going to get some really, really fun action next week, I think, between both of those teams.
And unfortunately, it looks like this is a pretty serious injury as we pan over to Josh Dodge pans over to Connor Pay, being some of the fans over here tonight.
Noted podcast guest of mine.
Yes, of course. And while they attend to Downs, of course, and he's being helped up to his feet. And it looks like he is okay, but he's going to be walking off with some help. A lot of the players were down on a knee.
Brody Downs is the injured player.
Good to see him walking on his own power there.
Yeah,
very gingerly.
Very good to see him walking under his own power. You always worry when people take a knee because, of course, we remember.
If you're wondering how they get moved, who's doing it?
We remember, of course, that frightful Thursday night incident with Tua Tagovailoa a couple weeks ago.
It's all female, and it has been for over 18 years.
Cruz Christensen back to work
Lynn Combs,
with Davidson Agan, the tailback.
Job, ladies. Thank you very much.
As we have now less than 5 minutes to go, the number 22 ranked Lone Peak Knights about to go to 5-1 on the season and rebound after that tough loss last week in California at the hands of Centennial High School. Dropped them out of the Max Preps rankings, but you can expect they will likely be back in it next week as Agan takes the head off on the sweep to the far side and he gets brought down after a pickup of maybe a yard. They're going to give him no gain officially on the play.
Cruz Christensen gives to Davidson Egan. He's stopped by Derek Brinton and Jackson Mortensen.
Just past 9:20 local time here in Alpine, Utah.
Correction. Knights.
Second down and 10 officially now from the 48-yard line. Christensen, the sophomore, going to finish this one out. Next snap will be under 4 minutes. Christensen to throws the wide side. That is complete. Wide open on the sideline and bumping his way out of bounds.
Cruz Christensen completes
is Crew Robinson. So Cruz goes to Crew for a first down to the 35-yard line.
By the way, some nice arm strength from Cruz to get that ball all the way to that far hash. That was actually really impressive to get that across the field.
Puts the ball at the 35-yard line.
Much further throw than most people would expect.
Nice. Got that right.
Christensen only a sophomore. Of course, the third stringer in behind Ike Staley. And Kepa-Niumatolu, the incumbent starter, and there's a fumble on the play, and it's recovered by Pleasant Grove. And so we're singing the praises of Cruz Christensen, and that's the third turnover of the night for Lone Peak.
That mesh point got a little messed up there. Ball popped out as a result, and another turnover.
So the 7th total turnover we've had tonight, but the difference, of course, being Lone Peak has had 28 points off of turnovers. Pleasant Grove has not converted. But nonetheless, that's something to build on if you're head coach Taylor Walkenhorst, despite the Vikings about to fall to 1-5. 3 turnovers off a pretty good Lone Peak offense is a pretty good sign indeed.
Yeah, they can build off this, there's no doubt.
Dave Wallace, the white hat, wants the play clock reset. Folk on first down, keeps it on the read option, and he goes nowhere. Gets maybe 2 yards. Bradshaw, among others, on the stop. So, Hatch, as we come down the stretch of this ball game here tonight, you have to say, Lone Peak 37-0 after that loss last week in California, but 67 points now in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That should tell you that this Lone Peak team is not only starting to find their rhythm, but they're starting to sustain it, and that in and of itself should scare the heck out of the rest of this region and the rest of the state.
Yeah,
probably.
they're rounding into form right now, and you want to be operating at peak efficiency, obviously, when the playoffs come, but you have 4 weeks left in the regular season, and they are rounding right into form, right on time. Bart Brock makes everything, all right, we got something good going here.
As Christensen picks up the first down, that's a far cry from last year where it really took them
the entire regular season.
Not only almost the entire regular season, but almost into the playoffs. It really took them into that game against Corner Canyon to finally figure some stuff out. Ty Wilkinson and I were seeing Lone Peak make plays that, we hadn't seen them make all season long. And so, Hatch, that really, you're right, that has to be a good sign for head coach Bart Brockbank, that they're rounding into form a little bit sooner than I think a little bit sooner than, of course, what happened last year, obviously.
Correct,
everybody remembers that.
Yes.
As
we gave this to Donovan Delaney.
As Donovan Delaney now comes in, everybody's out now for both sides. That's Logan Adams who gets a chance to get a hit in. So everybody's playing here tonight as we are under 1 minute to go.
Yeah, one more play probably and we'll be done here.
Yeah, and so I suspect that on the basis of that, this will likely be the last play of the game here this evening. Hafolka hands off to Delaney, gets maybe a yard. He's brought down quickly, and after all of that, that will do it. As the final,
let's go ahead and hand out some Arrow Custom Homes turnovers.
As the final 15 seconds will tick off the clock here tonight, and Lone Peak, after that tough, hard luck loss last week in California, comes right back with a vengeance. And the number 22 team in the country puts a stamp on the opening night of region play. They rout the Pleasant Grove Vikings 37-0 here tonight. We'll be back after this word from the Salt Lake Running Company with our final thoughts on the Rewind Sports Network. Well, the Lone Peak Knights came out big man, and they showed it tonight. Number 22 team in the country shuts out the Pleasant Grove Vikings 37-0 here tonight at Lone Peak Knights Stadium. Alex alongside Jake Hatch. Jake, final thoughts here on this one tonight, which really was Lone Peak. It took a little bit for them to get going, but they were able to find their footing about midway through that first quarter.
They asserted themselves exactly how you want to after a loss you mentioned to Centennial down there in California. Came back with a vengeance, got payback for the loss against Pleasant Grove a season ago. They did exactly what they wanted to do tonight.
And let's kind of touch on that point again one more time.
Yeah.
This team, both sides of the football, offensively and defensively, they seem to be rounding into form much sooner than they did last year.
Yeah.
And it's at the perfect timing because, let me tell you, the schedule they got coming up, Hatch, American Fort, Skyridge, Lehigh, all coming up in coming weeks, it is going to be really huge for this team to come out in form next week.
Yeah, they're going to have their work cut out for them. As you mentioned, Region 3 is going to be an absolute dogfight every single week. But hey, that's why they line up and play them every week.
So, Hatch, now time to name our Heinemann Associates player of the game. Like we said, Heinemann Associates goes above and beyond the call for the clients they serve. And, I mean, we could give it to a whole bunch of players, but Samuel Wright with his 3 touchdown performance in the first half.
There's only one guy.
He really set the tone. Yeah, he really did set the tone for this Lone Peak team here tonight.
Yeah, he was absolutely dominant in that first half. Had he played in the second half, probably would have added more to his tally, but did enough damage in the first 24 minutes. There was no need for him to suit up in the second half.
Well, Hatch, that was a really fun way to start Region 3. And if this is any indication of what's to come, this Region 3, like you said, is going to be an absolute war.
Oh, yeah. It's always been that way. And the thing about it, they lost Corner Canyon out of the region a couple years back. It's still just as competitive as it ever was. That's the thing about this. Every one of these games going forward is going to get these guys ready for the playoffs.
Hatch, let's do this. Region play's underway.
Yep. Let's do this thing. It should be a fun one. Thanks for having us, everybody.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Lone Peak Football presented by Skin Science Institute, number 22. Lone Peak defeats Pleasant Grove 37-0. Don't forget, Gavin Atkinson and I will be there for Game of the Week next week between Maple Mountain and Orem. Until then, we bid you aloha from Utah. And remember, take care of one another, everyone. Good night.